Carlos?
What's up, bro?
Yeah!
Welcome to Ham Radio.
There you go. Carlos Mencia, you know who the hell he is. You know the name. If ever there was a brand name for comedy, it's Carlos Mencia. How are you, buddy?
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ. You're making me feel special. That's awesome.
You are special, sir. Let me tell you right now.
Legend.
You know how many excited people are waiting right now to hear you talk about everything that you want to talk about, especially the world that we live in nowadays? You're the voice, man. You've been taking on bullshit for as long as I've known you and seen you in the comedy world. I was there in '94. I saw the specials. I know.
Yeah. You know what's funny, man? I never see myself that way. And I think it's the secret to my longevity and my staying funny and grounded, even though, stuff around me gets crazy. I don't see any of that shit.
No.
I look at it like this is why I look at it. I swear to God, as I'm driving into my house, my gardener, all right, who's an illegal immigrant, and all his 3 dudes are illegal immigrants. I walk in, and he goes, "Hey, Carlos, how you doing?" I go, "I'm good, man. I just got to get some sleep, Gotta head out this weekend, gotta work." And I swear to God, an illegal alien, bro, looks at me and he goes, "Man, you work too hard." I'm like,
You're working too much.
You work too hard. What are you talking about? And I gotta put it in perspective. I'm like, oh my God. Like a dude that cuts grass for a living, and I don't know how many houses he cuts, and he works like 7 days a week, is telling me that I work harder than him. But it's the way it's always been, bro. And like you said, the way there's waves, you know what I mean? I've been doing comedy since '88. And some of the waves, right? Here's some of the waves. 91 or 92? The riots.
Yeah,
huge
92.
Wave for Carlos Mencia. Right. So huge wave for me, right? Because I talked about the riots. A lot of people weren't. A decade later, September 11th hit. Again, another crazy wave because I was the first person. And for anybody that wants to check this, there's an album called America Rules. It's just an album, Carlos Mencia, America Rules. That album was all about September 11th, and it was recorded on September 19th of that year. So 1 week after September 11th, I come out with an album special. And then now with all this cancel culture, I'm there again, bro. It's like, you know what I mean? Like every 10 years something happens and comedy world starts crying and they're like, Carlos, can you pick up the slack for us and, take a hit for the team, so to speak? And I'm like, of course I will, bro. I love talking about all this stuff.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Carlos Mencia, you were meant for this time period. With all the bullshit that's going on in America, where everybody, we were just talking about it before, with all the college kids that are whining about this, you can't say this, you can't say that. Carlos Mencia is the guy that says, watch me. All right, I'm going to say it. I'm going to talk about it. We're going to bring it to a forefront. We're going to put a spotlight on that motherfucker. We're going to tell you what is going on, much like this program here, where we freaking bring up shit that people don't want to talk about all the time because it's a little sticky or it's a little slimy or smelly or whatever. We bring it up because if you're not going to get dirty with it, if you're not going to actually do anything with it, what the fuck is the point? That's how you live life. That's how you learn shit. That's how you grow as a person. And if anybody was meant to do that, it's Carlos Mencia, because he's going to tell the people that want to go cancel culture, he's going to shut them the fuck down. Am I wrong on that? I mean, you got a tour going on, the No Hate, No Fear comedy tour. It's in the title.
Well, first of all, I don't care anymore.
Exactly.
Right? I've literally already been canceled. Like, I don't know how many times. There is literally nothing you could do to me that hasn't been done.
Exactly.
There isn't anything you could say about me that hasn't been said. I mean, if you go according to the internet, I'm a German white guy pretending to be born in Honduras. His mother's Mexican. I don't speak Spanish. I'm not a Latino. I steal all my jokes. I'm sure there's more. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Here's the thing, bro. I find loopholes, so to speak, and hypocrisy, right? So all this cancer culture stuff with regards to comedy, it's bullshit. And let me tell you why.
I agree.
It's bullshit because the other day my friend invited me to an LGBTQ show, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, man, I haven't been one. Let's go check it out. It's pretty fun. Dude, one of the first chick comes out and she goes, I'm a butch, bull-dyke lesbian. And right at that moment, I was like, this is bullshit. Because if I would have said that about her, people would have looked at me like, why would you say that? But she could go up and say that shit. Yeah. And then she started making fun of this guy. She called him, and I quote, a faggoty little twink. And the audience laughed their asses off. And that's when I told my friend, I go, dude, I need to go up on the stage. I need to go up on the show. And I went up on the show, and I started I don't know what I said. I might have said faggot or something like that. And the audience went, ooh, and I was like, oh, that's what I wanted to hear. You guys were calling each other faggoty and fags, and it was funny. She called herself a butch, bull-dyke lesbian, and it was funny. I did a few jokes about being a Latino and having a lot of kids, and that shit was funny. But the minute I say fag, you guys turn on me. I said, that's bullshit. You guys ask for equality, but you don't give it to me. You're treating me like I'm not for equal. And I looked at him and I said, so if I can't tell those gay jokes, you should not be allowed to get married. Exactly. And they went, oh, whoa. No. We're sorry. We didn't mean it. You're cool. And from that point on, I just went, you know what? It's the same thing when you go see an urban show with all the black guys dropping N-bombs, or the Latinos speaking Spanish, or Middle Eastern people, calling each other terrorists, or Asian comedians who do the most racist shit when they do impressions of other Asians. Yeah, they squint their eyes more. What kind of fucking shit is that? But we can't do a joke about it. So what that did, honestly, it liberated me. And I'm like, wait. So this is about intent. You don't have to ask me my intent. My intent is to make every single person laugh. That's my intent. Every joke I've ever written. And here's the thing about comedy that's pissing me off, not about comedy, but people that look at it. No comedian wants to be offensive. We write jokes to be funny. And here's the thing. Every comedian alive today and dead, any comedian, if we go on stage and it's a sold-out theater and there's 3,000 people and everybody gives us a standing ovation, but one person in the front row doesn't laugh and doesn't stand up, you know this about comedians, we all would get off and go, did you see that one guy that didn't laugh?
The guy in the front row, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't even pay attention to everybody that loved us. It's the one dick that didn't like our joke. The one dick that got offended. So that just goes to show you how important it is for us to make everybody laugh. That's what we do. And if you don't understand that, then go see somebody else. And if you go see those, I'm an Asian, I'm going to see the Asian show, I'm black, I'm going to see the black show, but you won't come see somebody like me, then you're the hypocrite.
Exactly.
Because what you're saying to me is, I'm not like you, so I can't tell that joke. No. It doesn't fit for me. I don't care anymore. Come to my show, and you will laugh your ass off, and there will be no guilt, because nobody's going to shame you for laughing at a goddamn joke. Everybody else, do whatever you want, but I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to do what I think is funny, and right now, it's a good time for comedy, man.
Absolutely.
It is a great time for comedy.
And that's
plenty of material.
And I do say it all the time. We say it on this show all the time. Everyone likes the thought of equality. They don't want to actually be treated equal.
Yeah.
They don't want to be treated equal, because when you're equal, then every joke is open. Every punchline is open. You can't pick and choose what you laugh at. You can't tell me that I'm this or I'm that, because then you're equal, right? You're not special. You're equal. So therefore, you can't freaking have your little diatribes about how bad and this is and that is, or how I was treated. You're equal. You're the same as me. If I get treated like a piece of shit, then you have to get treated like a piece of shit. If they mock my weight, they knock my weight. If they knock your gender, they knock your gender. It's what it does. It's life. Life is not equal. Life is not fair. Sometimes you get the shit end of the stick, and sometimes it's someone's actual dick. They're right. That's what it is. That's what they do.
And isn't most comedy based on truth?
Very true.
Which makes it funny because it's based on truth.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, right? Like real comedy, like the good stuff. The good stuff. The good stuff is based on truth.
Right.
Because it's based on this, right? It's based on you're at home, you're a regular person, and you see something. right? And you kind of go, oh my God, this is the thought. Well, I can't say that. And then a comedian comes out and goes, hey, did you see this? And says what you were thinking. And then everybody goes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. And so that part of comedy is what is exploitable, but it's because it's what's real. But that's not, see, here's the problem. America's not about truths anymore. It's about feeling. And that's the problem, because I could say something that's factually true. Like, here's an example.
Yeah.
The majority of African Americans can't swim, right? So over 50% of black people in this country can't swim. Right? That's a fact.
Yep.
But if I did a joke saying black people can't swim, some people are gonna go like, oh, how dare you say that? Whereas like, well, wait, statistically, that's an accurate statement.
Right.
Because over 51%.
You, sir, are a racist.
Yeah, we got.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're a racist. Yeah. You're evil. You're bad. You can't make fun of any. But listen, we're talking about people that grew up getting participation trophies.
Yes.
They don't even know they're fucking losers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Very
these
true.
people grew up being lied to. They grew up being told they're better than they were. They got trophies when they were kids.
So
now
true.
they get a job at a coffee place, and they're baristas, not coffee makers. They're executive assistants, not secretaries. They're mixologists,
That's what happened
not
to customer
bartenders.
service.
So true.
But that's the point. And you have to pretend, you know what I'm saying? That everything's okay with them. And I just don't have it in me to tell you that. Like, you know, people want to be told in every way, shape, or form, especially through comedy, that there's nothing wrong with you or your kind or your people. And that's just not right.
It's not true either. Yeah.
This is why.
That's the thing.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say that the thing with comedy, right, is like only your kind can speak about shit that happens in your community. If someone outside the community says something, then they racist. You know, like black people could tell all kind of jokes about how, you know, we didn't have an iron, so we would cut the cord on the old iron and put the shit on the stove and iron your jeans. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right? If a black person tell it.
If
a white person tell it,
Then we're
he racist and
yeah.
this and that, so forth and so on. You know, we call each other niggas. Spanish people call each other spics. If we step outside and say, yo, he's a spick, or this spick, he racist. Oh, the Spanish person say, oh, the niggas is, we racist.
Excuse me, Carlos, he prefers Beaner.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. But let's take the N-word. Here's an example, right? Like, let's take N-I-G-G-A. Let's take nigga, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're watching a comedian perform who's black, and he says, women be blank, 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 blank. They act like this, they act like that. And then he goes, but niggas be doing some other shit too. At that point, when he said niggas, he doesn't mean black men. He meant women over here,
right,
and men over here,
right.
Mm-hmm. So once that word becomes descriptive of a man, that's when you start. You got to let the word be what the word is, not make it what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And like that's one of those things where society has been trying so fucking hard to turn nigga into nigger. Yeah. And it's like, those are not the same goddamn words. And I'm sorry that they sound the same. I'm sorry that they feel the same to some of you, but it's not the same. Because when I hang out with my friends who are black, right, and they say, yo, nigga, what up? What we doing today, nigga? You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's like our thing. You can't take that away from me. And you can't make me pretend that that's not who they are to me and I am to them. And then all of a sudden I got to flip it over here and pretend like that. But let me tell you a really great story. So I was doing an urban show. I wasn't doing it. I just stopped by a comedy club called the Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio. This was last year. And it was a Thursday night, and it was a quote-unquote urban show. And they go, hey, you want to go on stage? And I was like, yeah. And I did this joke about how when I was 8 years old, I found out I was a nigga because my friend Trey was like, yo, what we doing today, nigga? And I was like, I'm a nigga too. And he was like, yeah, you didn't know that? So I did this joke and this brother in the front row, right? Big dude, like 6'2", just looked like a linebacker, stands up, looks at me, looks at the audience and goes, y'all gonna let this nigga keep saying nigga? And he caught himself. And he realized that he had called me a nigga, and he looked at me and he's like, I see what you're doing, nigga. Okay, we good. And he just laughed his ass off. But let's see the opposite side of what this stuff does. Let's go back to the beginning of last year, which for me comedically started with a comedian getting assaulted on a stage because somebody was offended at a joke, right? That's how my comedy year last year started, with Chris Rock getting smacked in the face because of a joke. Exactly. And then last year's comedically ended for me when somebody that I brought on the road and I discovered and put out to the world before anybody knew who he was in 2006, which is Joe Coy, having that set on that show. And for me, it's because he was so afraid to be offensive. He was so scared to not ruffle any feathers that he ended up doing what he did. And that's what happens if you start pushing comedians. We become safe, we become scared, and all of a sudden, instead of like telling a joke or saying, what's going on here, what's going on there, you know what I mean? Like, I was on stage the other day, and there was a couple in the front row, and I was like, oh, so you guys a couple? And she goes, no, we're just friends. And I was like, okay, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, no. I said, do you have a boyfriend? She said, no. You guys are friends? She's like, yeah. How long y'all been friends? She goes, like 8 years. Right there, bro, I do. I knew who that guy is. That guy is in love with this chick. He doesn't want to push it. He's waiting and hoping that she sees him. And I told her, I go, you know he wants to fuck you, right? You know that's what it is. You know that you see him as your best friend.
Friend zone.
But that's not how he sees you.
Yep.
And she was like, nah, he's my friend. And I was like, offer him a blowjob in the car on the way home. So you know you're my friend.
And she knows it. She knows it, too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
By the way, just because you mentioned Joe Coy before, me and Billy have fond memories. We went to the Beacon a long time ago in a kingdom far, far away. We went to... you were doing the Punisher tour, and Joe Coy...
Oh, my God, that was in 2006.
Exactly. And Joe Coy was one of your opening acts, and literally everybody on that show that you actually gave a shot to went on to bigger and better stuff. I mean, Joe Coy's doing movies now, and the other one, the chick... Brad,
Cristela Alonso?
Yeah, she got a TV show out of it. Brad Williams is doing fucking everything, all kinds of stuff. Legitimately, that we sat there, and I still fondly, in my room, in my bedroom, in my house, have a picture of me and you from the Punisher tour, from a Polaroid in a little frame that I still have. Wow. Because let me tell you, I'm telling you, for two things. One thing I have to say to Carlos, your comedy is definitely like I fucking started loving you from in '94. Your first, I think it was your first HBO special. It
was the first HBO special.
Yeah, and I'm like, this guy's fucking awesome. The comedy's great. Blah blah blah. Mind him and see all that stuff. And now here's the thing the reason why. In the height of Mind of Mencia, when I was working for Q104 in New York City, WAXQ, I'm on the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show. You come on, and literally now we're off the air. We're now sitting in another studio. You actually had a heart-to-heart conversation with me. You probably don't even remember it. But you pulled me aside and had a heart-to-heart conversation, and words that you said to me stuck with me forever from that day on. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. No, not that.
Get out of the
business. Hey, fatty. Da-da-da. No, you said point blank, and this is the one thing I have to say this because I have to thank you for that. You said, and I quote, once the job becomes a job and becomes work, it's no longer good anymore. Get out when that starts to happen. And that has been the gauge that I have used in every one of my professional radio career things. When it becomes work, when the job becomes work, I know that it's my time to get out, and you didn't have to do that. You weren't trying to be. That's why it annoys me with all the bullshit and everything else, like the Joe Rogan stuff, which I do want to ask you, but I don't want to fucking harp on it like everybody else in the world. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Ask whatever you want.
Oh no, I will. Trust me, I will. You can't shut me up. I learned that from you.
Good for you, bro.
But the thing about it is those words of wisdom actually have carried me through this business. So for that, personally, I want to thank you. That's one thing.
Oh man, you're welcome, brother. I felt like you were having an issue at the time.
Yes.
I felt like you were having an issue with what they were letting you say and not letting you say.
Exactly.
And you were a little like, I'm happy, but I'm not happy. And you were kind of on the fence about it. And I just wanted to let you know, like, dude, if this is how you're feeling and this is work, go find your happiness, bro. Don't stay in a job. Don't stay at a job. Stay at a career. Stay at a place that you love.
Yeah.
Don't stay at a job. Anybody could get a job anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to sacrifice your soul for that.
Very true. And that's what I'm saying. You didn't, and this was at the height of your you had the TV show, you were playing The Beacon, you were doing all these things. You didn't have to, pull this little chubby radio guy aside and actually have this conversation. So I thank you for that. But the thing I do want to get into, because we did have staff members that were fucking annoyed, and to me, everyone's, and not just them, like, you have the keyboard commandos that come out and they have to go like, I don't like Carlos Mencia because he steals jokes. And they start typing on their typity boxes because they have technically no balls. And they go out there and they say all the shit that they say. Now, I know it's been beaten, this dead horse has been beaten with every stick in the woods. However, because the Joe Rogan thing, it kind of does vex me a little bit. The video itself that is in question that everybody fucking knows about because everyone brings it up, you actually confront Joe. Joe doesn't confront you, and I'm not shitting on Joe at all, but I have to say, right, the video that was shown to everybody that everyone saw was highly edited because it was you confronting him, not the other way around.
Correct. He introduced a comedian named Fox who came on the road and opened for me a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
He basically said he opens for Carlos Mencia. Mm-hmm. So then I went up on stage and I said, why don't you come up on stage and tell everybody what joke I stole from you? Because up to that point in comedy, we comedians, we dealt with that shit face to face.
Yeah.
We didn't talk to other people about it. We didn't go on radio stations. We didn't go on TV shows. We went up to that comedian straight up and said, hey, bro, I have a problem with you about this. So I was doing what we do or what we used to do in comedy, which was confronting. Plus, he was saying that I could steal jokes. So I'm like, okay, we'll bring it out. What joke did I steal from you? And he didn't. The thing is that from that point on, any comedian could say, man, yeah, Carlos Mencia stole my joke without having any proof whatsoever,
mm-hmm.
and people would believe it. And so that kept getting stacked and stacked and stacked. And I just kind of ignored it, and I paid crisis managers and all that kind of shit a lot of money to see what was the best thing to do. And everybody just said, just let it go, let it alone. It'll go away. Nobody predicted that it wouldn't go away, that people would still go there. But I just got to a place where, after asking people a million times, go find me the proof.
Yeah. And that's
the fact that I was doing it.
And Carlos, I don't want to cut you off, but that's the exact fucking point I was trying to make. This man, Carlos Mencia, a lot of people don't fucking know this, so I'll let him in on it. And Carlos, you can reiterate this if you wish. This guy, I know for a fact because, yet again, I have interviewed him before. When we were on Q104, we talked about this. This man has taped every one of his fucking stand-up shows. I'm not talking the specials. I'm talking everybody. He played the Chuckle Hut when he played Tickle My Balls in Hasbrook Heights. Whatever the fuck the name of the place was, he still filmed every single set. Okay, so. When
I still do it.
Yeah, he still does. And then you can also, if you go to the show, you can get a fucking copy of the tape if need be.
You hear that, people at the Funny Bone in St. Charles, Missouri?
Yeah, exactly. Pay attention because the fact is,
if you laugh funny or interesting or something, you'll end up on the recording.
Exactly. So it's like this is why I was watching something with you and I'm sitting there going, this guy's just like me. Because I will fucking, you're like a lawyer.
No, he's funny.
Well, he's funny too. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and he has money. That's fucking true. Yeah. Anyway, besides all the fucking non-similarities, the other similarities are the fact that he does present evidence. He has to look at it as a lawyer, and he goes tell me which joke I fucking supposedly stole. I will go back into my records and I will show you, asshole, that I did this joke. Whatever, fucking 3 years ago before you ever even opened your mouth. The thing about it is, the thing that gets me is that people don't understand how comedy works in general, and it's the same in radio. If you're a comedic fucking guy and he's a comedic guy, you all look at the world askew. You look at the world your own special way. So there's a chance, I don't know, dipshits, that there's a chance that maybe you're both going to come up with the same fucking punchline.
Same premise.
The same premise, the same everything, because that's what good fucking talent does. They come up with jokes. They don't just fucking, Well, yeah, go ahead, Carlos. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was speaking for you. Go ahead.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. The wall joke, right?
Yes.
The supposed wall joke.
That Ari, Ari says
literally, that I know of, 10 comedians did that joke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me, Ari, George Lopez, Paul Rodriguez, Pablo Francisco, Dennis Miller, Bill Maher, D.L. Hughley, and there's a few others. Anyway, we all did a version
all great comedians, by the way.
Out.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing. Do you know how many of those comedians stole that joke? One.
Yeah, only you.
So everybody got to tell the joke.
That's because you're a thieving Mexican. Carlos, you're a thieving Mexican. It's all your fucking fault. That's what it is. It's crazy.
You know what's funny, dude?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That you're saying that?
Mm-hmm.
I never, ever, 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 ever wanted to believe that it had anything to do with racism.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, bro, I've been kind of going, man, I wonder if that's the case. Because white comedians got accused of stealing shit after me.
Mm-hmm.
They got nowhere near the shit that I got.
Right.
I was gonna bring up Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer supposedly stole from fucking everybody. That's what everyone alleges anyway. And it's like nothing happened to her. She's making movies. She's fucking doing this. She's retired.
Nobody's trying to cancel her.
No.
Yep. Dane Cook. Nobody tried to cancel him when he was accused. The same thing. Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a victim. And you know what? I will take responsibility for one thing.
Yeah.
But that's only because when I first came into comedy, it was called paying your dues.
Right.
Right? Older comedians would make you go get their drinks, would bump you, would, teach you the rules and kind of show you like, hey, man, you got to pay your dues in order to be, in order to get this. You can't just come into the comedy store. You got to get a TV show, pay your dues, lick your wounds, so to speak.
Yeah.
So by the time 2000-ish came around and I started getting, a real traction, that had changed. All of a sudden it had become bullying. It was, hey man, don't bump me. Hey man, don't make jokes about us. Don't fuck with us. It was a very uber sensitive time. And at that point I was like, oh man, I hurt all these kids' feelings. Because I never took their jokes, but I hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other day I was doing a podcast the other day with an old friend of mine, and I go, man, it sucks what happened to me. And he goes, are you acting like you're the victim when you were the bully? I go, bro, okay, let's say I bullied you. Let's say I hurt your feelings. He goes, you did hurt my feelings. I go, okay, I hurt your feelings. you tried to end my career. Are you fucking telling me that those are nearly the same? They're not. They're not even close to the same. But, you know, I became a better man. I became a better comic. I learned from all this stuff. I've never been better. And I'm not a victim, and I'm not crying, and I'm not complaining. And I'm not coming on your podcast telling everybody, look at what the comedy world did to me. And they I don't care, dude. My mother has a house that I bought, and my wife's mother and the father have a house that I bought. Those are the things that I care about.
Exactly.
All this stuff, bro, it is what it is. And, you know, cream will always rise to the top. I hadn't put a special out. I put one out. I got another one coming in the pipe. And then, you know, everything's already changing, you know. I'm selling out again. Well, places where I sold out were adding shows. Places where I didn't sell out were selling out. So now it's like a whole nother trip. But,
absolutely.
You know, I don't.
Talent always reigns supreme. That's the thing. Talent always reigns supreme.
Always.
If you sucked, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It would be like, Carlos who? Meanwhile, Carlos Mencia is still taking over the world. No Hate, No Fear comedy tour. Carlos, where do they? I do have one question though, but give a plug out now. Where can they connect with you right now? And then we'll. I have one more final question, and then we gotta go. But go ahead. Where can they plug away?
No worries. So everything is Carlos Mencia or at Carlos Mencia.
Okay.
Except for TikTok. I still haven't joined that bandwagon. I don't know why. I just don't I don't want a bunch of Asians. I don't want a bunch of Chinese people knowing that I ordered a hooker. I just don't need them on my phone with that brush.
Right.
I don't need that, dude.
Oh, Carlo, he ordered a hooker. He had her top his egg roll.
Yeah, I don't want somebody saying, "Oh, you like a sake."
No. He wants to stick it in my duck sauce. Oh, no.
That's a good routine.
But everything else is at Carlos Mencia. Yeah.
All right, so at Carlos Mencia. All right, now here's just the final question, and then we gotta finish with you because even though I could talk to you for another 3 hours, but I can't. They don't let me. All right, has Joe Rogan reached out to you since anything? Because I think the most explosive episode of his show would be Carlos Mencia, Joe Rogan, one-on-one for one more time.
Oh.
Listen, here's the thing, bro. I have never had a problem with any other comedian, like in that respect. Not even him. I've never said anything negative about him or any other comedian. They've said it about me. I play the long game. I believe that we would literally break the internet if we did that episode.
Yeah.
I have no idea, bro. You know, because people go, "Do you reach out to him?" It's not up to me to reach out to him.
No,
he was the one that went on and said that I suck, that I ain't shit, that I'm a fake Mexican, all this kind of stuff. He's the one that has to reach out. I've never put anything on him. So if he wants to, cool. You know what I mean? I'm past it. If he does it, cool. I don't know that he's ready to address this stuff, you know, from a real standpoint. But if I got a phone call, you know what I mean? Listen, let me tell you a really quick story.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly who it was, but I'll tell you that a producer of a show that was a hit in the late 90s and early 2000s called me up a couple of months ago. He said, "Bro, I used to be a Rogan fan, and now I'm not. And I began to question what he said about you, and I did research." He goes, "And I need to apologize to you." I said, "For what?" He said, "A few years ago, there was a TV show that they wanted you to be in it. And I said no. As a producer, I made sure that you weren't on it because I believed that stuff."
Jesus.
He goes, "And I'm calling you to apologize and tell you that I'm sorry. I was wrong. I should have done that."
You should have told him he owed you a couple of million.
"So are you calling me to tell me you have a job? Something for me?" And he said, "I don't. I'm just calling to tell you that happened and I feel bad." And this is the kind of person I am. A little tiny part of me wanted to say to him, "Go fuck yourself."
As you should have, yeah.
Shit. No, I didn't, bro, because I know what it's like to live with pain. I know what it's like to go online and have everybody hate you. I know what it's like to have fans say to you, "I don't care what anybody says, you're the best." Like, who the fuck are all these people you're talking about? I know what it's like to be hated. I know what it's like to have guilt, and I know what it's like to be pounced on. And so I said to him, I go, bro, as far as I'm concerned, you're absolved. It took a big man for you to make this phone call. And, you know, I hope the best for you. And if we can work in the future, great. If not, you know, you made your decisions based on what you thought was right. And I got to respect that. And then he said, thank you. We hung up. And I utterly destroyed that fucking phone that was in my hand. I threw it up against the wall.
I was literally
I was walking by a church. And I just threw it against the church 5 times until it was little tiny.
I gotta tell you, that's like a wife going to her husband saying, you know, I fucked all your friends.
Holy shit! I knew we were getting to something at the end because I'm like, you could not be have that humility and that much. I would have been like, as soon as I hung up, fuck you, and smashed the fucking phone.
Keep it to yourself, man. I don't want to know that.
That's exactly what I did. Exactly in front of God, bro.
Hey,
in front of God. So
if you're gonna have a witness. Have the biggest witness ever. Have God, because
that's the best witness, bro. Jesus Christ.
I'd have been like, "Fuck you and your mama," because she had your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, bro, don't worry. The words that came out of my mouth after that were way worse than "fuck you and your mom." Oh, way worse.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. In that very moment, his mom died, his dad died, his kids died. Oh yeah, it was. It
was the plague brought to you by Carlos Mencia's rage. Carlos Mencia, I can never thank you enough. Seriously, and that's just for me personally. That's that talk has lingered with me. That talk that me and you have had for years. We have lingered with that. It was the reason why me, Billy, my friend Danny, my friend Piney, who's used to be on the show, we all went to the Beacon Theater to see you perform on the Punisher tour, because it was like I have to see the man in action. I interviewed him. I had to see the man in action, and he took the time out of his life to talk to me about my life. So thank you for that, ladies and gentlemen. The one, the only, Carlos Mencia. You can go to carlosmencia.com if you need to. At Carlos Mencia on every form of social media. Carlos, thank you so much, buddy.
Love you guys, and know that right now I'm actually funnier than I was then. So there you go. Love you guys. Whenever you want me on the show, if anything ever happens in the world and you need my opinion, you gotta let me know, bro.
I will, buddy. I will.
Do a segment. So let me know. I'm here for you, bro.
There you go, brother. Carlos Mencia, no hate, no fear comedy tour. Get off your ass, buy tickets. He's funnier than he was, which is really unheard of in this business. He got funnier. Carlos Mencia, thank you, buddy.
All right. You're getting a standing O, bro. There's only 4 of us in here.
Well, we're standing.
I love you, man.
All right. Love you too, buddy.
Love you guys so much.